Hello, this is Eric White. In this screencast, I'm going to show how you can use OpenXML to create a ribbon button that runs a VBA macro. First step is to start Excel, and we're going to create a little VBA method, and we're going to save as a macro-enabled workbook. If you haven't already done so, you'll need to enable the Developer tab. To enable the Developer tab, you click File, Options, and then you click on Customize Ribbon, and you make sure that this checkbox here is checked. Now I'll go create the VBA method, click on Developer, click on Visual Basic, and I'm going to double click on this workbook to bring up the code for this workbook. I'm now going to paste in a very small VBA method. In this particular case, we're putting a button on the ribbon to run a report, and we're going to call this report the roll-up report. Of course, in this example, all this is going to do is put up a message box with the text of test in the message box. I'll do File and Save. I'm going to specify Save as Type Excel Macro Enabled Workbook and click Save. Now I'll close the workbook. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to manually edit the XML, and I'm going to use the OpenXML package editor power tool that is available for Visual Studio 2010. This package editor enables you to drag and drop an OpenXML document or spreadsheet or presentation onto Visual Studio and then go into that package and edit the XML, create parts, create relationships, and so on. We're going to take advantage of that functionality. You can find this power tool here. I have now used Windows Explorer to navigate to the directory that contains the book1.xlsm that I just created. I'll drag that onto Visual Studio. Next step is to create a folder. I'll name the folder Custom UI. Click OK. I'm now going to add a new part in that folder. This part I'm going to call custom UI.xml, and the content type is application/XML, and click OK. Next thing that I need to do is I need to add a relationship from the package to that custom UI part, and the relationship from the package to that part needs to have a relationship type that is of a particular value. So I'm going to click on book1.xlsm, and I'm going to right click and click Add Internal Relationship. The first thing that I need to specify is the relationship ID. This is just a unique string. It doesn't really matter what we put in here. I'll put in RID 99999. I need to specify the target for this relationship, and the target is custom UI.xml. I need to specify the relationship type. The relationship type is http://schemas.microsoft.com/office/2006/UI/extensibility. I'll click OK. That just created the relationship from the package to the custom UI part that I just added. And last thing that I need to do is I need to put some XML in this custom UI part. I'll open the XML file, and there's nothing in it, of course. I just created it. I'll put in this XML here. One key point is that I'm specifying start from scratch equal to false, and that means it's going to add a new tab at the end of the existing tabs. The tab label is going to be Custom Reports, And within that tab, there's going to be a group, and the group has a label of financial reports. And within that group, there will be one button, and that button will be a large button. It's going to have a label of Roll-Up Report, and when the user clicks that button, it's going to run this workbook.run rollup. And that is the name of the VBA method that we just created. I'll save all. I don't even need to close this in Visual Studio. I can leave it open here. And this is convenient so that if I were playing around with all of the buttons on a custom tab, then I can leave this open, edit it, open Excel, see how my changes are reflected in the user interface of Excel, close Excel, and then make adjustments. I'll now open book1.xlsm. Excel, of course, tells us that there are macros and the macros have been disabled, but I'll tell it to enable content. Here is the custom tab, custom reports. There is the roll-up report, and when I click it, I get a message box that says test. That's all I'm going to cover in this screencast. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter at EricWhiteDev. Follow OpenXML on Twitter at OpenXMLDev. And be sure to check back often at openxmldeveloper.org for new content.